Little bit of a wedge challenge and idea for you, Dan. So we've got what, a 20-yard chip shot.
Yep.
You've got, let's say, 15 yards or 12 yards, almost 50-50, isn't it?
About 50-50.
It's kind of maybe 60-40 green at the best, isn't it? A little bit more green than rough to go over.
Yeah.
We've got quad out here. So I want you to tell me first off, what shot would you play in this situation on the course right now? What club would you hit?
I would probably use my 56.
Okay.
I just like chipping around the green with this. I think if I'm landing anything short of 56, I'd have to land it off the green, and I wouldn't want to do that.
You want to land it off.
And my 60, I would have to throw it almost too far.
Yes.
Because we're landing on a slight upslope as well.
Okay. Now the fringes here in the UK are often very similar to green, so they're just like a slightly longer version of the green. So quite dissimilar to lots of the courses we play in Europe and certainly in America, where often sometimes the fringe and around the green can actually be like this stuff, look, where it's actually like kind of long rough where you would never tangle with it. So let's see a few shots with your 6 iron, your 56.
Yeah.
And just look at, we're going to look at the spin numbers and what kind of numbers you get out of this chip for control. So if you call the spin number out for me, Dan.
2-4.
It's 2,400. Last one spin.
Last shot was 1-6.
Which shot was it out of the group?
It was just the one directly in front of the flag. Like, it was a good shot. It was a good shot, but when I hit it, I didn't feel like there was a big difference, you know. But
And what's the highest spin you got so far?
So my first couple of shots were both 2,400 spin.
Yeah.
Then I went to 3,000 spin.
Yeah.
Then it brought back down to 2,300 spin.
So deviation so far from highest to lowest?
Well, you got to say if it's gone from 1.6 up to 3,000.
Wow.
So that's a lot, isn't it?
Yeah.
What's that?
1.4.
1.4.
Okay, and if you come up onto the green, so one's a gimme.
Yeah, so this was 2.4 spin.
So just so you can have that one. How many of the others are you giving yourself, as in you are happy with as a chip shot playing golf?
I'd probably be happy with that one.
I agree.
And I'd be happy with that one in the fact that that's just a pretty straightforward uphill putt. These two, I wouldn't be happy with these two.
Because you've left them in a really awkward place.
Position. Yeah.
But they're not particularly, if we're going to go just close to the hole, that one over there is not particularly much closer than these two, is it?
No, it's just on the fact that this one's swinging probably.
So I'm going to give you 2, and 3 I'm going to want you to putt.
Yeah.
In fact, I want you to putt 4.
Yeah.
But there's 3 I definitely want you to putt, one gimme. So if you gather them up, and let's do something slightly different with the next shot. So that's a 46, that's your pitching wedge in effect.
This is my pitching wedge, yeah.
You would not really play this as a shot from this position. I've not really seen you play this when we play.
No, maybe to the next flag up, I might think about this wedge.
Because you want the more roll.
I want the more green to play with, yeah.
Okay. So we'll talk about visualization in a second, but let's just try a few with this and see what happens.
With that fringe being there, I have to be very precise.
Yeah. That landed in the fringe.
Yeah.
Which I actually think is the perfect landing spot for this club.
Yeah.
Not perfect as in how you should play it, just to get it to get close.
It to that hole.
What was the spin on that, sorry?
The spin on that, yeah, was 2-1.
That was a 2-1 spin. Nice, a little further.
1-6, that's more like what I would expect. Clean, 1-6 again.
6, so 2-5, 2-1, 600 is, or 500 is the deviation so far. Oh, unfortunate bounce.
1-8.
1-8.
In. 1-8.
So much closer in the deviation of spin.
It was just that one that just popped up, didn't it? A bit like the 56, I had one in the 3,000. The others were very tight, weren't they? Within a couple of hundred revs.
But I mean, that's still, you were up in the 1,000 and something for the 56, where this is much tighter.
Yeah.
But I would argue the shots aren't as good.
No. Well, no, they're not.
Why
They're not.
that, do you think?
Purely because of where I'm trying to land it and where they've kind of ended up from there.
Okay.
From my point of view, I think if I had just a little bit, if I had 2 or 3 feet more green to work with,
or a fraction closer, I guess.
or a fraction closer, I would then be happy to use something like this.
Yeah.
But for that shot to throw it that far and try and then stop it around here is difficult because of just that descent angle coming in. It's coming in so much lower, isn't it?
Yeah. So you've got no gimmies, and you've got 1 which is inside of the 3 that you hit with your other club.
wedge, yeah.
So you feel by coming in with more height and then that slightly higher spin as well, that you can just be, in effect, more aggressive, chuck it up there by the hole.
Yeah.
Let me have a quick go then.
Okay.
Right, so I'm going to go 60 to start, just because I think there are people out there who would be using their most lofted as a chipping club. I wouldn't chip with my 60 in this situation normally. And obviously I'm a very varied strike chipper, so let's see what I get out of this. Cool, that's
Stop very quick.
stop. 1/8.
1/8 spin.
Yeah. It's a nice strike.
Yeah.
2-1. Oh, that's 1. Look at the spin on that. And I was 1-2. Basically.
There you go. 1, 2.
I've just moved them across because I don't want to just keep running into them for how many get close, because that last one was getting close but it hit the other ball, but I've moved them kind of equivalent just to the left a bit. So what's my spin now? What was my highest? 1/8?
1/8, now 1-2.
So I'm 600 there.
Duffy?
Yeah, but it'll work. I didn't dig. 1-3.
Okay.
That's a nice strike.
Yeah, that's good.
1-6. So I'm, if anything, a bit tighter there, which surprises me. And the results for me, if we go up and look, for my standard chipping, there's 3 I would give myself. Not as in I would never give 2 of them. 1 of them possibly.
Yeah, definitely giving you 1 there.
But what I mean by given, as in I would take that every time for my level.
Right, okay.
Because I know I'm going to hold that putt 8 out of 10, in theory.
Yeah.
And then 2 that this is funny, 1 I'm really disappointed with, 1 again I still would take that because my chipping's just average. So as an average to poor chipper, let's see what happens when I take the loft off, which is not a way I would ever really play it.
No, okay. But now what have you got?
So my 46 as well, so in effect my pitching wedge.
Pitching wedge, okay. Again, would you use pitching wedge here, or is it more your 56?
I wouldn't
50?
use pitching wedge because, again, like you, I'm going to have to land this in that fringe, and I always see that as a bad thing. But as I hit more of these shots, I feel like I'm going to learn. So that's 1-5. Get in the box. Again, both of them are landed in the fringe. We now have a proper gimme, 1-3. One 7, so 1-3 to 1-7. So it's not, my spin was what, 500-600 revs, so I'm close with these. Threw that a bit too far.
In.
Got away with that.
In.
I'm not sure that would have been a gimme. What was the spin on that one? 1-2. Like for me, and then there's 1-5. The consistency of that shot and the result. I mean, let's show you the result there. So you're teaching me. Let's pretend I did use the 60. That's just the one I gained. You're going to tell me to stop, sure.
I'm going to call that out of your hand, yeah.
So this one would, I reckon, would have gone to about there.
Yeah.
And that one was kind of stiffish. So all of them now, for my ability, I would take. And I'm now getting closer to you, where I'm 2 to 2.5, look, which was in your gimme distance. So 1 total, and maybe that one and that one. And that's landing it in the slight fringe.
Yeah. And you carry a 50, don't you?
I do, yeah, so I would easily use my 50
move
there.
into 50
The thing
there.
with that shot as well, and this is a good one for Rory if he's watching, like, I literally just felt like I'm doing this.
Yeah.
Where the 50, the 60, I definitely felt like I'm having to really
more speed.
chuck it, speed it.
Yeah.
If you're out there chipping with loads of loft, unless you're brilliant at chipping and you've got loads of feel and control, keep doing it. Matt's one of the best chippers I've played with, and he's always been along this premise that he would hate that we're chipping in that semi there.
Yeah.
But he is a lot to do with just getting it on and rolling.
Yeah.
So he's going to try and land it always here with whatever lofted club.
So I do...
trying to do nothing in effect.
I do this with a lot of my short game sessions when I come out here. So when I bring guys out here, I do the par 18 event with them.
Go on.
So I chuck the ball into 9 locations.
Yeah, yeah.
And they've got to get up and down 9 times
Yeah.
as par 18. So up and down is the par. And I say to them, right, what I want to do is you're going to go first and you play it how you want to play it. And I'd be like literally their caddy.
Yeah.
And I'll walk the clubs around.
Yeah, yeah.
How many times do they ask for another club?
Yeah, yeah.
Never.
Yeah, yeah.
They're always pulling out their 60 or their most lofted 58 or whatever it is, and they're flicking it in from everywhere. Whether it's because they're a little bit lazy and they just want to use the same club, or it's something they're used to. Then we go round and I do it my way, which is then getting them to land it club length onto the green, using different clubs in different positions, working out their percentages with each club. The results are amazing, and I'm not even working on technique massively with them at that point. It's just them opening their eyes a little bit more to using different lofts.
Like, how many of you, put your hands up in the comment section, let's see them, have been on these machines to get iron fittings, driver fittings? So many. Go on, put your hands up down in that comment section. How many of you, including us, Dan, I mean, I've done this a few times, but nowhere near as much as I should get out here and experiment using launch monitors. I mean, if you were to get 1,000 revs deviation, I don't even get 1,000 revs deviation with my driver.
No, you have to really mishit it, don't you, to get that?
And obviously you shouldn't get that deviation if you think about it with a driver. You should get more deviation with this because you've got more slip going on, because it's an oblique hit. Look at this.
Just short.
Online, that's a good chip for me.
You can have that.
I'm always looking for cheats with chipping. Definitely a little bit less loft. Just chuck it in front of you and let it roll out. It sounds like such a cliche, but the data, the numbers back it up, doesn't it, as well?
Absolutely they do.
Launches and spins, we'll do this again and maybe show some of the launch deviations, because you'll see launch deviations in a lofted wedge as well, from one that slides up, one that hits higher and lower on the face, all the rest of it. It's just massive. It's massive for someone who's going to be inconsistent strike. For me, I mean, it's like repeatable, and I'm not even, like you say, if I did this with a 50, so I'm going to turn it into a 50 a bit there. Look.
There you go.
It's
I
there,
much
isn't
prefer
it?
that.
Definitely don't be afraid to play with loft, and for lots of people, coming down in loft will give you a little bit more repeatability to your short game, I think.